Welcome to the Deep Dive, your weekly shortcut to being well-informed. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the whirlwind of AWS announcements from August 18th to 22nd, 2025. It was a remarkably busy week, and, well, our mission is to distill these updates, helping you understand not just what was released, but why these changes truly matter for your cloud strategy and operations.
Exactly. And for our technically savvy listeners, these aren't just, incremental features. They represent pretty significant shifts in how you can build, optimize, and secure your cloud infrastructure. We'll be covering everything from foundational compute and databases through to cutting-edge AML, enhanced security, and refined financial operations tools. So get ready to uncover insights that can directly impact how you tackle your technical challenges.
Okay, let's kick things off then with the bedrock of cloud operations, compute and databases. This week, we're seeing some serious boosts in performance and flexibility, allowing you to manage your core workloads with greater efficiency than ever before.
Yeah, what's fascinating here is AWS's continued push towards both raw power and really granular control. Take Amazon EKS, for example. It now supports Kubernetes namespace configuration for AWS and community add-ons.
Okay, namespaces for add-ons. What does that mean practically?
Well, for those managing complex clusters or maybe adopting multi-tenancy, this means you can specify a custom namespace. Think of it like a virtual cluster within your EKS environment during installation.
Ah, okay.
So this gives you much finer-grained organization and isolation of add-on objects. It can reduce operational overhead and definitely improve your security posture without needing separate clusters for different teams or applications.
That sounds like a significant win for EKS cluster hygiene and, yeah, management. And on the EC2 front, feels like there was a whole slate of updates focusing on instance types, really pushing the boundaries.
There were several. First up, the Amazon EC2 R7G instances. They're now available in the AWS Africa Cape Town region.
Graviton again.
Yep, powered by AWS Graviton 3 processors. They give you up to 25% better compute performance compared to Graviton 2.
Wow.
And they use up to 60% less energy, which is huge. They offer 9 different instance sizes, including bare metal, with up to 30 GBPs networking bandwidth.
So more Graviton goodness spreading across the globe, bringing those power efficiency gains. Good stuff. We're also seeing new regional availability for the storage-optimized Amazon EC2 i7i instances.
That's right. Europe, Frankfurt, London, and Asia-Pacific, Malaysia, Sydney, Tokyo.
And the i7i, remind me, what's the big deal there?
Well, the i7i instances are really targeted at I/O-intensive workloads. They use 5th-gen Intel Xeon scalable processors, giving up to 23% better compute performance and over 10% better price performance than the older i4i instances.
Okay, better price performance is always good.
But the real game changer here is their use of 3rd-generation AWS Nitro SSDs. These offer up to 45 TB of NVMe storage with up to 50% better real-time storage performance and 50% lower storage I/O latency.
50% lower latency.
Yeah. This isn't just about faster numbers on paper. It's about enabling applications that demand consistent, really lightning-fast storage access. Think high-transaction databases or real-time analytics. They can operate at, well, unprecedented levels.
Right, that kind of improvement unlocks new possibilities. And not stopping there, AWS is introducing new memory-optimized Amazon EC2 R8i and R8i Flex instances. The Flex part, that really piques my interest.
Yeah, the Flex is interesting. So these new R8i and R8i Flex instances, they're powered by custom Intel Xeon 6 processors exclusive to AWS. They offer up to 15% better price performance and, get this, 2.5 times more memory bandwidth compared to previous Intel-based instances.
2.5 times.
And we're seeing impressive workload-specific gains, too, like up to 30% faster for PostgreSQL databases, 60% faster for NGINX web apps, and 40% faster for AI deep learning recommendation models compared to R7i.
Wow, those are significant jumps.
Definitely. They're also SAP certified, hitting 142,100 ASAPS. That's the industry benchmark for even your most demanding SAP applications. It shows they can handle high transaction environments.
And the Flex part.
Right, the R8i Flex, it's designed for workloads with, varying memory and compute demands. It lets you optimize costs for applications that don't need consistent peak performance all the time, but still benefit from having that high memory available when they do need it.
Okay, so the R8i Flex gives you that cost optimization without sacrificing memory for those burstable workloads. That's pretty smart. And tying into compute efficiency, AWS Batch introduced new default instance type options.
Yes, this is a really nice simplification for cost optimization and batch processing. AWS Batch now offers default gas 8664 and default ARM64 options for allowed instance types in compute environments.
Instead of picking specific families?
Exactly. These options automatically select the most cost-effective instance type across different generations based on your job queue requirements. It's a huge improvement over the old optimal option, which, let's be honest, could sometimes miss cost efficiencies.
Right.
While you can still manually select if you need to, for most cases, this is kind of a set it and forget it improvement. It automatically keeps your costs in check without needing constant monitoring.
That sounds like a powerful way to cut cloud spend for batch jobs without much effort. Nice. And for streaming data, Amazon MSK also has a Graviton-related update I saw.
Indeed. Amazon MSK, the managed Kafka service, now supports Graviton 3-based M7G instances for standard brokers in 8 additional AWS regions.
Okay, more Graviton goodness. What's the impact?
It translates directly to up to 24% compute cost savings and up to 29% higher write and read throughput compared to similar MSK clusters on M5 instances.
29% higher throughput.
Yep. So for anyone running Kafka-based architectures, this means you can process more data, faster, and for less money. It's a really compelling reason to look at upgrading.
Definitely. Okay, let's shift focus a bit to databases. What critical updates should listeners know about for enhancing data resilience and operational flexibility?
Okay, databases. For Amazon RDS for PostgreSQL, we now have support for delayed read replicas.
Delayed read replicas sounds like a safety net.
It is, but it's more than that. It's kind of a strategic shift for disaster recovery, especially against human error. This feature lets you specify a minimum time lag for a replica. So you create this time buffer that helps protect against data loss from, accidental drop table commands or other mistakes.
The dreaded oops moment.
Exactly. Instead of a painful, possibly really time-consuming point-in-time restore, you have a replica ready to promote. But with that built-in delay, it dramatically slashes your recovery time objective, your RPO, for those moments.
This is a crucial data protection mechanism, yeah. Very valuable.
Yeah.
And for DB2 users, what's new in RDS?
Amazon RDS for DB2 now supports read replicas. You can add up to 3 replicas to support read-only applications without impacting the primary database.
Okay, standard read replica functionality, but for DB2 now.
Right. Replication is asynchronous, and these replicas can also be promoted for disaster recovery, just like with other engines. It gives DB2 users those scalability and resilience patterns that maybe they've seen elsewhere. And you have options for licenses on demand or bring your own license, BYOL.
Good to have options. Another significant RDS announcement, especially for migrations, I think, involves Kerberos authentication for SQL Server users.
Absolutely. This is a big one for migration friction. Amazon RDS for SQL Server now supports Kerberos authentication with self-managed Microsoft Active Directory.
Self-managed?
Yes. This greatly simplifies migrations for on-premises SQL Server databases because it removes the previous requirement to adopt AWS Managed AD just for Kerberos authentication. It means less hassle, fewer changes to your existing identity setup, and just a smoother path to the cloud for those specific workloads.
That makes a lot of sense. Less friction is always better. And for the highest performance database needs, particularly in the government sector, there's good news for RDS IO2 Block Express.
Right. Amazon RDS IO2 Block Express volumes are now available in AWS GovCloud US regions. These volumes provide that consistent sub-millisecond latency for really mission-critical workloads. They offer 5 nines of durability, support up to 64 TB volumes, 4,000 millibards throughput, and up to 256,000 provisioned IOPS.
All at the same price as IO1.
All for the same price as RDS IO1 volumes, yeah. So it enabled organizations with those stringent performance and compliance needs in GovCloud to run their most demanding apps without compromise.
Okay. And finally, on the Aurora front, a new long-term support release.
Yes, Amazon Aurora MySQL 3.0 has been designated as an LTS release. This is really a strategic move for stability.
Yeah.
It means database clusters using this minor version can stay on it for at least 3 years. They'll only get fixes for high-severity security and operational issues, no new features pushed on them.
So predictability.
Exactly. For customers who need that extended support and a predictable, stable path for their critical applications, this LTS release provides that peace of mind.
Okay, from the core infrastructure, let's pivot to the cutting edge, AI and machine learning. What's making it easier for developers to harness these powerful tools this week?
Yeah, a key theme this week is definitely about greater control, accessibility, and efficiency for AML workflows. especially with large language models. Starting with Amazon Bedrock, the Count Tokens API is now available for Anthropic's Claude models.
Count tokens. Why is that important?
Well, this API lets you figure out the token count for a given prompt before you actually run the inference. This isn't just, a neat little feature. It provides critical transparency for projecting costs, managing token limits.
Right, avoiding hitting those limits unexpectedly.
Exactly. And it empowers prompt engineers to optimize their prompts much more efficiently. You avoid surprises and make applications more predictable.
That's absolutely crucial for managing LLM usage and costs effectively. Makes total sense. And speaking of Bedrock, access to OpenAI models just got even simpler.
It did. Amazon Bedrock now provides simplified access to OpenAI open weight models, specifically GPT-OS 120B and GPT-OS 20B. They're now automatically available to all Bedrock users. You don't need to explicitly enable model access anymore.
Oh, it's clicking.
Pretty much. It streamlines immediate usage, lets developers experiment and build faster. Of course, account admins still have full control through IAM policies, but it reduces that initial friction.
Got it. We also have an expansion for the TwelveLabs Pegasus 1.2 model in Bedrock, Video Understanding.
Yeah, the Pegasus 1.2 Video Understanding model is now available in US East and Virginia and Asia Pacific Seoul. This is a video-first language model. It's really good at video-to-text generation and understanding the timing, the temporal aspects of long-form video. By expanding its regional availability, customers can now build these sophisticated video intelligence apps closer to their data and their end users. That means significantly reduced latency and better responsiveness for these next-gen applications.
Makes sense keeping the compute close to the data. And for those dealing with really large data sets for AI inference, Bedrock has a new batch inference capability. This sounds like a potential game changer for cost and throughput.
It absolutely is. Amazon Bedrock now supports batch inference for Anthropic Claude Sonnet 4 and the OpenAI GPT-OSS models. This lets you run multiple inference requests asynchronously. It improves performance on large data sets, and it's priced at 50% of the on-demand inference price.
That price. Okay.
Yeah. It's optimized for higher throughput and includes CloudWatch metrics for tracking progress. It's really ideal for tasks like bulk content generation, maybe summarizing huge document collections, or extracting data from massive text files. It essentially lets you process those large-scale AI tasks much more efficiently and affordably.
That's huge for batch jobs like summarization. Beyond Bedrock, there are also updates for SageMaker and CloudWatch that seem to streamline developer workflows.
Right. For SageMaker, the Unified Studio now offers S3 file sharing options for projects. This gives data workers an easier way to collaborate on analytics and machine learning workflows without having to solely depend on Git.
So, an alternative to Git for sharing.
Exactly. Git is still an option, of course, but S3 becomes a default. It supports a last write wins principle and basic file versioning. It just simplifies collaboration for teams who might not be Git-centric or are maybe working with very large data artifacts that aren't ideal for Git.
Okay, easier collaboration. And for observability, CloudWatch is expanding its natural language capabilities. That sounds big.
It is. CloudWatch Logs Insights expands natural language query result summarization to 15 additional AWS regions and natural language query generation to 6 new regions.
Natural language queries.
Yeah, this is a big deal because it means you can transform complex log query results into concise summaries, and you can generate queries just using plain English. For troubleshooting, especially in complex distributed environments, this significantly speeds up getting insights from vast amounts of log data. Makes it easier for everyone on the team, not just the logging gurus.
Lowering the barrier to entry for log analysis, yeah, that's great. Finally, for analytics, Amazon QuickSight has increased its limits.
It has. Amazon QuickSight expanded the limits on calculated fields from 500 up to 2,000 per analysis and from 200 up to 500 per dataset.
That's a big jump.
It's a quiet but really significant increase. It directly empowers authors and data curators to create far more complex transformations and extract richer, deeper insights from very large datasets without hitting those artificial ceilings. It pushes the boundaries of what you can do right within QuickSight.
More power for the analysts. Good stuff. Now let's turn our attention to the critical areas of security, compliance, and cost management. These updates offer new levels of control, efficiency, and governance essential stuff.
Absolutely essential. Security remains paramount, and we're seeing AWS deepen the capabilities for fine-grained authorization. Amazon Verified Permissions now support CEDAR 4.5.
CEDAR 4.5, what's new there?
The key thing in this release is the is operator. It lets you grant access based on resource types, enhancing CEDAR's type system. This helps catch potential type-related errors early on when you're developing policies. It makes your fine-grained authorization policies more robust and less prone to misconfigurations.
Okay, tighter policy control. And for IoT deployments, there's an important security enhancement around encryption keys.
Yes, AWS IoT Core now supports Customer Managed Keys, CMK, through AWS Key Management Service, KMS.
CMK for IoT Core, that seems important.
It's huge because it means you, the customer, get direct control over the encryption keys protecting your IoT data's lifecycle. Everything from creation to rotation, monitoring, deletion. It adds a critical layer of security and compliance, especially for sensitive IoT data. And the service automatically re-encrypts existing data, simplifying the transition.
Nice. And similarly, Amazon Managed Service for Apache Flink now supports CMK too, following that pattern.
Exactly the same pattern. It gives customers the option to use their own customer-managed keys for encrypting data stored in MSF. Just another layer of security control for those real-time data stream processing applications. It's all about giving you maximum control over your data's security.
Makes sense. AWS Security Incident Response had two significant updates this week, one around integration and one for compliance.
That's right. First, AWS Security Incident Response now offers seamless integrations with popular ITSM tools like Jira and ServiceNow.
Oh, direct ITSM integration.
Yeah, these are open source integrations providing bidirectional synchronization, creating, updating, deleting issues, comments, attachments, it all syncs. This allows for much faster incident response because it integrates directly into your existing workflows, minimizing context switching for your security teams.
That sounds incredibly useful for SOC teams. And the compliance milestone?
AWS Security Incident Response has achieved HITRUST CSF certification. This is vital for organizations in healthcare and other regulated sectors. It demonstrates alignment with really stringent security and privacy requirements. This certification helps customers meet complex compliance obligations and can significantly reduce their audit burden.
HITRUST is a big one, yeah. That definitely helps. Data integrity and resilience also got some boosts. How is Amazon S3 helping verify the content of vast data sets now?
So, Amazon S3 introduced a new way to verify the content of stored data sets using S3 batch operations. You can now use batch ops to efficiently compute checksums. It supports SHA-1, SHA-256, CRC32, CRC30C, CRC64, and MD5 for billions of objects.
Billions. Wow, so you can check everything.
Pretty much. Imagine being responsible for ensuring every single byte is correct for compliance or archival. Previously, that was a massive, often manual job. Now it's like having a super fast automated auditor for your entire data lake. It generates integrity reports without needing to restore or download any data.
That's incredibly powerful for large-scale data governance, yeah. Really useful. And for high-performance S3, resilience testing is now available.
Yes, Amazon S3 Express One Zone now supports resilience testing with AWS Fault Injection Service, or FIS.
Injecting faults into Express One Zone.
Exactly. You can use the FIS network disruption action to test the failover response and recovery of your latency-sensitive applications. You simulate what happens in the unlikely event of an availability zone disruption that impacts data access. It's about proactively verifying your monitoring and recovery processes, making sure your critical apps can handle unexpected events.
Chaos engineering for S3 Express. Interesting. Okay, let's pivot to financial operations, FinOps. Two key announcements for AWS billing and cost management that look like they're aimed at simplifying analysis and optimization.
They are. First, AWS announced the release of a Model Context Protocol, or MCP, server for billing and cost management. It's available in the AWS Labs GitHub repo.
MCP server, what does that do?
Think of it as an open-source framework that helps AI agents or assistants like Q Developer CLI, or maybe something in Visual Studio Code, to actually understand your spending data. It helps them analyze historical spending, find cost optimization opportunities, even estimate new workload costs using a dedicated SQL-based calculation engine. It puts advanced cost intelligence right into the hands of developers and FinOps teams.
So AI analyzing my AWS bill, that sounds potentially revolutionary for how teams interact with spending data, and a new visualization tool for cost analysis as well.
Yes, AWS billing and cost management dashboards are now generally available. This is a new feature to help you visualize and analyze your AWS spending in one consolidated place. You can create customizable dashboards combining data from Cost Explorer, savings plans, RI reports, using various widgets and visualizations.
And share them.
And, importantly, yes, you can share these dashboards across accounts. This helps establish standardized cost reporting for your whole organization, making financial operations much more transparent and collaborative.
Consolidated, customizable, shareable dashboards. That's a solid improvement. All right, to wrap up our deep dive, let's look at how AWS is enhancing networking and customer engagement, connecting the dots between the infrastructure and the end users.
Okay, starting with networking, Amazon VPC IPM now adds in-console CloudWatch alarm management.
Alarms right in the IPM console.
Yeah, it provides improved visibility and management of your existing CloudWatch alarms directly from the IPM console. You get a unified view, streamlined alarm creation, and even proactive monitoring suggestions for resources you haven't set alarms on yet. It's all about making IP address management more robust and easier to keep an eye on.
Streamlining IPM monitoring. Good. And for dedicated network connectivity, AWS Direct Connect is expanding its footprint.
Literally expanding, yes. AWS Direct Connect has opened a new location in Barcelona, Spain, within the Equinix BA1 data center. This location offers dedicated 10 GBPs and 100 GBPs connections, with MCASIC encryption available too.
Direct Connect in Barcelona?
Yep. Provides that private, direct network access to all public AWS regions, except China, GovCloud regions, and local zones. For organizations in the region, it means lower network costs, increased bandwidth, and a more consistent network experience for their cloud workloads.
Good news for folks in Spain. Now, for customer engagement and contact centers, Amazon Connect had a trio of updates. These look like they could fundamentally change how businesses interact with customers.
I think so. First, Amazon Connect now supports multi-user web, in-app, and video calling.
Multi-user video calls in Connect.
Yeah, this is a huge leap forward. It allows multiple participants, customers, maybe specialists, family members, to join the same session with an agent. You get audio, video, screen sharing. Imagine a joint financial planning session or a family medical consultation. It enables these collaborative, richer experiences, really reducing friction in complex customer engagements.
That opens up a lot of possibilities and making it easier to embed Connect into existing digital properties.
Right. Amazon Connect now provides out-of-the-box embedding of tasks and emails into your websites and applications. There's a new contact form option in the communication widget. You can offer customers the ability to submit callback requests or send emails through web forms directly from your site or app.
Configurable forms.
Yep. Supervisors can configure these forms using a drag-and-drop editor. It empowers business users to quickly adapt their customer interaction points without needing developers for everything.
Nice. Finally, streamlining agent scheduling. Always a challenge.
It is. Amazon Connect now supports recurring activities and agent schedules. This simplifies adding repeating events and daily stand-ups, team meetings as a series, for one agent or multiple agents. It significantly improves manager productivity, ensures schedules are always up to date, cuts down on that manual overhead, and frees up time for more strategic work.
Little things that make a big difference in contact center ops. Wow, what an incredible range of updates this week. From boosting core compute performance with new EC2 types and the continued spread of Graviton, to empowering developers with simplified access to advanced AI models and richer SageMaker collaboration.
Indeed. And we've also seen significant strides in securing data, with CMK support popping up across services, streamlining incident response, and providing those critical tools for FinOps and compliance. These aren't just features scattered around. They feel like capabilities that offer deeper control, greater efficiency, and more resilient architectures, really shaping how you operate in the cloud.
Absolutely. So for you, our technically savvy listener, with this relentless pace of innovation making once complex operations like, say, AI model management or large-scale data integrity checks much more accessible, what foundational assumptions about your current cloud architecture are you now empowered to challenge? What can you rethink?
A good question to ponder. We hope this deep dive helps you navigate the continuous evolution of the AWS ecosystem, giving you the insights to make those informed decisions for your technical strategy.
That's all for this deep dive. Stay curious.